My name is Julie Lind. I'm the Chief Lending Officer for Washington State Employees Credit Union. We have $5.2 billion in assets and 24 branches across the state of Washington.
My name is Meaghan Brown with WSECU. I'm the Director of Consumer Loan Operations, and we have 313,000 members. We were growing as an organization in both direct and indirect lending and adding FTEs, which is very expensive. And we were adding FTEs without any efficiencies. You know, it was just one for one. So our team, I want to say, doubled over the last 3 years. We added different models, some that would help us say yes to no-score borrowers, or maybe we look at our loan loss and see where we were saying yes elsewhere and where we could say yes here. But everything was very traditionally rooted, so FICO, DTI, PTI, all those old school rules, 5 C's of credit.
The catalyst for us was really wanting to increase our automatic approval ratios, not only so that we could say yes to more members, but also to support our aspirations to get to a place where we can offer a fully automated end-to-end solution for our members who are applying for consumer loans.
Early on, we were just adding more resources to be able to say yes to more loans. We also wanted to remove bias in our decisioning, which is hard to do when you're unconscious of it. So we were doing training for traditional underwriting, but this tool provided a way to have expanded equitable access for more borrowers, and also do more loans with the same team, or even grow our team and do more loans than we've ever done, which is actually what happened. So, and also that our loan performance would not get any worse, would actually get better. And that's with an automatic decision versus a human review.
We had tried other models, but we had really seen a lot of excitement in the marketplace around Zest, and in talking to some of my networking peers had found that there was a lot of excitement around what Zest could do.
And so we were wanting to have a model that removed all of that bias in decisioning, allowed us to have expanded access, allowed us to say yes to more members. And Zest AI gave us those tools while also being regulatory, was covered, and we didn't have to worry about adverse action, saying no also to the wrong borrowers while saying yes to the right ones.
First of all, if I can partner with a company that can help me say yes to more members while maintaining the same level of risk, so I'm not increasing delinquency or the potential for charge-offs, I'm able to do it in an automated fashion that learns over time to get even better at predicting the likelihood of future repayment based on how the loans perform. Those were the things that really made it attractive to me. In addition to that, there was the aspect of being able to automatically decline loans, which at the time we were looking, it could be different now, but at the time we were looking, there were no other solutions out there that could say no to, say, maybe an A borrower based on FICO, but they actually had the risk factor of a C or a D tier loan. And knowing that the examiners were already familiar with the model and had kind of given their blessing to the adverse action component of saying no to loans that maybe looked one way but were likely to perform another, that was a very appealing feature of the Zest model as well. We did a validation based on WSECU data specifically, so we looked at what would have loan performance look like if we had used the model on loans that we had actually originated a year and a half or 2 years prior. And so it could tell us how much better or worse the model would have predicted the likelihood of prepayment. And so it gave us a place, like, if this is true and you can show that this will happen in the next 12 months from deployment, then that's what we will even gain more confidence and be willing to perhaps use the model for other products.
We also had compliance, and compliance is a hard hoop to go over, and they were like, we can't poke holes in this. They did, but they had it all covered, all their bases covered. And then analytics and insights, like, can you build this? Can you do this? How long would it take? And they're, multiple years for them to build something and be able to do it as well as Zest was doing. So every line of business at the credit union was sold that it couldn't, disagree that it would be the best vendor for us to use for AI. It was super easy. It was really easy to onboard Zest. The tools they gave us and resources, they were really proactive about what to provide for the underwriters, really. And we also had them in the process with us, so they were able to ask questions, and Zest was always prepared to support them with answers and resources. The branch experience was very easy because it's automated, so they're getting a yes. And even when we rolled out declines, them getting a no wasn't a bad experience because it was clearly linked to typical adverse action reasons. So those are typically the channels we'd have issues, is in underwriting, understanding, and be able to communicate to members, and then declining, providing adverse action notices, and we've just not had issues. I will say we launched approvals first, just in case, and then denials later. If I could do it again, I probably would roll out both at the same time, because it really wasn't a different, it was such a good experience that it did make a difference. And the performance of Zest has shown that their approvals do perform better, and their declines are for a reason that you probably should say no as well.
Was very much on top of their timelines and very supportive along the way, and easy to work with. You can tell people that work at Zest are very excited about what they do. They're very passionate about what they do, also very knowledgeable. It was an early win for us, just in recognizing that they were very passionate about helping our members. They wanted to help us help our members, and it was evident with the team that we were working with.
I would say the QBR process has been really, really helpful, and they do a really good job of understanding our tolerance for risk and not just pushing the model. And so I feel like they're a partner, and they also, we've already bought the tool and using it, so I think that it's awesome that they want us to use it to the most of its ability, the best of its ability. And so those have been very helpful. With the recent launch for Indirect, we have a lot more triggers there, and we're going to have our first business review coming up, and I'm really excited. I look forward to them because they're super helpful for us to kind of take a little more risk and be a little more comfortable with the model. So I think it's a very smart process. We have had different decision models, different ways to say yes without using FICO, and we've gone through audits, and they're difficult to explain a lot of the times. And we recently went through an internal audit with Zest, and it was the easiest thing that we've had to explain because they had it all ready to go for us in a packet. So explainability is key on an artificial intelligence vendor, and that's been something that they shared with us early on and made us feel very comfortable that if we have internal or external audits, that it's going to be very easy for them to understand why we're saying yes and when we're saying no.
When you think about where technology is going, just in general, right, and what consumers expect, they are not comparing their credit union experience to other credit union experiences. Maybe they are, but they're also comparing that experience to the likes of buying something on Amazon. Or for me, it's like, how does this work compared to the Peloton app? And so you have all of these comparisons about things people want to be able to do fully self-service. There is no way we can do that and get to a fully automated end-to-end experience for lending without AI and the ability to decision 100% of the loans 100% of the time. What that also means is that not only will we need to be able to approve loans automatically and deny loans automatically, but also offer counter offers. And so I believe that Zest is helping us with the approvals and the denials, and it's just one step closer to getting to fully automated consumer loans for those members that choose to not have a human interact with them through the lending process. For those that still want that human interaction, of course we're going to provide that. But for those that want to be able to get a loan, apply for a loan, get the money, spend the money in the middle of the night, we want them to be able to do that as well.
I would love to be able to expand Zest and not only remove a lot of our overlays. Like I would love to just use the Zest score, be able to price in the score. I would love to potentially use it for some of our automatic funding if we were plugging it into other products. But really just trying to see wherever we're using old traditional rules and where we can use Zest to be able to say yes or automate all of it. So, and really when we peel back all the other decision models, every single one of those costs money. So using Zest in place of 5 other models saves us a lot of time, resources, and money that we can put elsewhere in the organization.
Beauty of the client advisory board meeting was bringing a network of credit union peers into a room to talk about how they're using Zest, to talk about some of the ways in which they thought Zest might be able to help them solve other problems, and just really sharing and collaborating about industry challenges and how we're going to use and leverage the tools like this that are available to us to say yes to more members and to get things more automated and to help more underserved in our communities. The spirit of creating together, and in some other advisory meetings that I participated outside of Zest, oftentimes it's presenting us with a solution that the vendor thinks we need. And I really felt and shared this with others that were at the CAB meeting, that there were ideas that it sounded like and felt like Zest had heard from their clients the things they were trying to solve for in their day-to-day business, and they had come back with some proof of concept ideas and said, what do you think? As opposed to, here's a product we fully vetted and, will you buy it? It was just a very different feeling, and it was very welcoming, to be quite honest.
I would say get as many people as possible involved early. I think having AI and audit, compliance, and underwriting, remember Loan Center, as a big group, Zest is going to prove why it works and allow them to poke holes in it, and that'll help when you're launching not to have so many overlays, because they're going to feel really safe and comfortable with the model, because Zest does a good job of showing them how safe and comfortable they can be. And a lot of what they're going to show you is that you're already saying yes to the borrowers. They're just doing it automatically for you. And those are really the business review process. And so you'll just get more and more comfortable with it. And so I would agree not to have so many overlays up front, and let Zest really tell you what they suggest based on the data that you've given them, because they know what they're doing.
Go in with an open mind and really think hard about the overlays that you want to start with. Especially if you've been in lending for a long time, there are a lot of legacy ideas that we hang on to. And one that makes me kind of giggle is, it was really hard for us to give up the requirement of 3 references on an application when we introduced our digital application many years ago. It just seemed so uncomfortable not to have the names and phone numbers of 3 people on a loan application in case the loan went into default. And I think about it now, and that it makes me laugh. And we've been just fine not asking for those references. And as we look at all of the ways in which we say we need to have this information, or we need this requirement in order to feel comfortable about making a loan decision, you have to ask yourself, based on what? Is it just because we've always asked for that, or is it because it actually helps mitigate risk in some way? And if so, is it mitigating risk to the extent that you're actually probably saying no to members, or reducing the amount you're willing to approve based on these rules? And so my advice, if you partner with Zest, is to be very thoughtful about the things that you're still going to require to be true in addition to the Zest model, because when you do that, it doesn't allow the model to perform. You also have a fiduciary responsibility to your organization and to your members to learn and gain confidence in those decision factors before you actually just rip off the Band-Aid. So But I would say be very thoughtful about the overlays that you require when you roll out the model, and then create some incremental points in time where you can measure that and start to peel those back so that you can really get the benefit of the lift and approval ratios.